And my dad, just like me, needs forgiveness. I'm going to forgive him. And I'm going to ask him to ask mom to forgive him. And those two things brought a lot of change. If we don't behave right as men, then there's something we'll do in the next generation of men. We'll hurt them. My dad's way of encouraging me was different. He would always put me down. You're not as strong as me, Chris, and you'll never be. But we must remember one thing. At the end of the day, we are all soldiers. The finest soldiers. They'll get whichever kind of a wound, but they will walk to the last blood. That is what every man should do. So when you have stable fathers, our society becomes stable. We have healthy children. There's a reduction in crime. There's a better society. There are lots of children who grow up with fathers, not fatherlessness. Right? So the importance of a dad in molding a son to meet the demands of the struggle of his generation are critical. And life is changing and changing so fast, Sam, isn't it? For example, Sam, I am 56 and you are about 25, 30 there.
Actually less. 23.
Exactly. You see, Sam, your struggles now are different from my struggles. When I sit down, I think about my children, my investments, my wealth, what I'm going to do in the Council of Elders, how I'm going to present my next talk to the next man I'm going to talk with. For you to be how to sort out your technology, like a priority. My job demands the use of technology. So you find the demands for you upping your technology now, then you invest a lot in technology, whereas I'll invest in something different. Yeah? Then Sam, this is the most critical bit that I would like the guys listening to us to listen very carefully. If we don't behave right as men, then there's something we'll do in the next generation of men. We'll hurt them. If I am your father and I'm absent, I will hurt you. If I am your dad and I'm behaving badly in the house, I will hurt you. If I am your dad, I don't meet your expectations to love you unconditionally, to give you the good education, to do this kind of things that our father is supposed to do to you, to even meet the societal demands of being an upright man and a man and creating wealth for the community, I will hurt you. And Sam, the worst bit of your father hurting you is that you carry that wound in you. It goes deep down in your heart and in your mind, and you find that amidst all these men that you are with in our workplace or in the marketplace, there are some more verbally aggressive. There are some more abusive. There are some more physically aggressive. There are those who are sexually violent to ladies. You take a deep dive into the root cause of that, you'll find there is something amiss in their life. And majority of the time, what is amiss? Dad was never there. Or dad was there, but he was abusive. Or dad was there, he was behaving very badly in the house, beating mom, getting home drunk, and distorting everything. I grew up with heart. My dad was not apt enough. My dad did not meet this demand. I grew up deficient. So when I go to the marketplace, when I go out to the world there, son, you find that I am not this complete man who I'm supposed to be. I'm deficient of something. And when a demand of that deficiency comes to the forefront, then I'm not ready to face it. I don't have the skills to face it. So these deficiencies, you find that we hurt others, we make others kill, we deny opportunities, we render them inapt, we make some of them violent from what we are doing. So all this comes from the absence of a man, how a man behaves, and the lessons that are missed by the young man growing up, because home is the best mentorship place. No other place better than home. You see, you get forgiven, you learn, you grow, and you become either better or bad. But it is in the leadership that God put in men from design that is supposed to lead an environment so pure for the growth of the young ones, so that when they are up and ready, they have all the skills to walk as fighting soldiers, respecting whatever wound, they walk to the last blood. And that last blood is finishing your journey well. Finishing your journey well.
Well, for you means healthy, wealthy, or...
For me, finish your journey well, it means that I've brought up children who are responsible, God-fearing, and have a good character. If I do that, as a mission, as my mission, then I know that the next generation, I have someone to represent me, because one other thing is to leave a legacy in the life of the people I touch. So a legacy is, I have educated you to the best level. I have taught you and prepared you to fight what is there as a vice in the society, because you saw me do it. I sat you down in a structured way and spoke to you, and I shared my whole with you, my whole life story. Like I did from one developmental stage to the other, what you expect in that stage. Beards, breaking your voice, and these physiological changes. Yeah? Because a father should pass that down to a son. Not let that to the teacher or somebody else. It's my responsibility. I will do it. Yeah? The next thing is to have initiative. As a man, Bwana Sam, like I said, we are wired to do significant things about situations. When I see anything, then I must have that initiative to do it. When I see, for example, my son showing up with, for example, a hairstyle I don't appreciate, I don't approve of, it becomes my responsibility to speak to him about my disapproval. He tells me what he thinks, and we come to a conclusion that at the end of the day, my voice about what he is doing has been heard, but the choice is his.
It's his,
because I've given him the value of being strong in making a choice and the right choice. So not necessarily what displeases me will please him. No.
Okay.
If it works for him, it's okay. Look at what is happening in the workplace. My times in the discipline forces, you would not call your boss Sammy.
You wouldn't.
Sir.
Even, yes.
But right now in the workplace, sir,
yeah.
You hear young guys like yourselves calling your bosses, hey, Chris.
Yeah.
You know? So we need to be aware this is generational change. It is there. It is happening. So we drive our youths with what is happening, but put in them the traditional values, discipline, respect, maximization of the resources that you have, appreciation of relationships, no bullying. That, if they have the core values and the ability to make decisions for themselves, then you are ready to send your boy or your daughter into the future to fight his war or her wars and be a winner by finishing war. But when they don't, some fall for drugs and substance addiction, porn, gender confusion, pride, debts, toxic crowds. All these bring them down, and they don't finish up the journey.
That was deep. That was a lot. That's a lot to take in. And I'm sure anyone who is watching is like, I hope you're taking notes, because this is not just anything anyone just says. Because it's really hard to find also guys who are vulnerable to share that and share the tips. So my question would be, for the guy who is hurt, because you've said that the guy who carries a lot of wounds carries a lot of it to future relationships.
Absolutely.
To violence, drug abuse, things of just masking whatever you're feeling, that's kind of ways. How does that person, first thing, how do they heal from it? And then how if like for me, I want to really build I don't know the tools, I don't know how to build a relation between me and my father. So how do you go about it? First healing, and also now building that relationship that brings about, because I've also noticed that if that relationship is not there, you tend to not listen to them.
Yes.
You tend to be a bit, you are like this child who is always...
The coping mechanism.
Yeah.
You're very right.
So,
yes.
So, I think those two questions would be...
There are lots of things that are good about even those dads who are bad people.
Yeah.
There are other good things. First thing, despite him behaving the way he's behaving, he gave you education. He got you to where you are. Right?
Yeah.
He got to give an environment, either favorable or not favorable, but you made it. You survived the wounds of your growth, and here you are as an adult. So the first thing to do is to accept. That's my situation. Any process, for example, even if I fall ill, and I want to be treated, the first thing I go is tell a doctor, hey doc, you know what? Man, I'm sick. And then I give the symptoms. I feel headache, sore throat, sweating. So you begin in that kind of an approach. Dad was inadequate. And he was inadequate in these areas. Irrespective of all that, my dad has given me an identity. My name, my family name is his. My identity belongs to him. All these years, I could have gone hungry twice or three times. But that did not end my journey. Here I am. Under his care, despite the problems here and there, I made it to where I am. So look at this. Start also looking at the positive things about Dad, all the things he did. That could help you flip your coin and start looking at the other side. And as soon as you begin looking at the other side, then letting God, bringing that to the attention of the Almighty God, because some things are spiritual, you'll start the process of healing. And once you've accepted and you've let go, next thing is to let go. Let it go. Go have a conversation with your dad. And I spoke to one man some times back, and there's none that ever hit me like what this man told me. This man told me, Chris, I can never use my father's name anywhere. I don't want that identity. That to me was heavy. And I got into a long conversation with the guy. Brother, what's happening? And the story behind it was Dad's violence towards the mother. The guy told me, my dad beat up my mom until my mom became paralyzed. My mom can't walk. And that was a result of a violence at home. And the man carried that with him. That was heavy. A lot of, really, we had to do a lot of work. I had to call in other resources better than myself. Collaboration is winning. So I brought a number of guys. We spoke to the guy. And do you know the miraculous bit of it? He accepted. And we traveled to his motherland. And he forgave his dad. Man, that was the beginning of seeing that anything in this world can work you when you bring God into it. Because we did a lot of prayers. We did a lot of fasting. We had a lot of intercessors coming. Yeah? And he said, I'm going to accept it happened. I didn't do it. It happened. And my dad, just like me, needs forgiveness. I'm going to forgive him. And I'm going to ask him to ask mom to forgive him. And those two things brought a lot of chain of reactions in our conversation. And we went to his motherland. And he knelt before his father. And he forgave him. And his dad was so apologetic. I told his son, I didn't know what I was doing. I am so glad. I can actually, he said, God, you can now take me. Because I have been forgiven. So we also must realize that our fathers too, they went through growth that was not very good. There are some things that they were not taught. So these are things that probably have come from really far. Cain, the first man, killed Abel.
Yeah.
Maybe all that has come all along. So we need to start going back and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving, bringing God in it and letting it go and supporting these fathers. Yeah. Some of our fathers never had the kind of lessons that we're having now. They never had this kind of sitting where they're told life will come in this way and this is how you face it. The default approach to life. Like us, we're structured. There are books to read. There are episodes on TV, YouTube channels like yours to watch and hear what guys are saying about situations. Them, nothing. So that's what to do, Sam. Accept. Bring God in it and let go. And even help your dad recover from it. We believe our dads are Superman. My dad was a Superman to me. Every man has a son is Superman. But they are not Supermen. They are just perfect men who make mistakes. They are perfect in our lives because our dad is everything. But nature says they too make mistakes because despite us looking at them as perfect, they are not perfect. They make mistakes. And once you begin to accept that, you realize things become good. And that was the foundation between me and my father. All this time that he was really tough on me. Commanding instructions without looking back. All that I came to understand. And he explained to me when we had the conversation, because I initiated the conversation. He told me, Chris, that was the best way I could call the best man in you. Because of how I did it. That's why you are the man you are today. And if you sit back and really look at it and you find, I went to security to prove him wrong. So he got me there.